acknowledging the Chief Justice, Justice Zela McCullough, our Ambassador to the United States of America, Stephen Vassiani, is also in that picture. And the receiving line for the gathering here today will be those persons along with others. Lots of aircraft here, which is normal for the president when he travels. Nothing ever comes in one, twos, and perhaps threes. And that, of course, is to ensure that there is just no chance of having anything go wrong. So for this evening, the receiving line will be led by the Governor General, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Portia Simpson Miller, the Chairman of CARICOM, the Right Honorable Perry G. Christie, Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Andrew Holness, Member of Parliament, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator the Honorable A.J. Nicholson. You would have seen him through your shots a while ago. President of the Senate, Senator the Honorable Floyd Morris and Mrs. Morris. Speaker of the House, the Honorable Michael Peart. Chief Justice, as I mentioned before, the Honorable Mrs. Justice Zela McCullough, OJ. The CARICOM Secretary General will be in that receiving line as well, Ambassador Erwin LaRocque. Jamaica's Ambassador to the USA, Ambassador Stephen Vassiani. Chief of Defense Staff, I mentioned earlier on, Major General Anthony Anderson, and Commissioner of Police, Dr. Carl Williams. It is pretty dark here at the Norman Manley International Airport, but the areas that will matter will have great light, as you can see from the shot there. We can see the President of the Senate and his wife, and others are awaiting the arrival of the 44th President of the United States of America. This is a very important visit for Jamaicans. In 2009, he came into the Caribbean region in Trinidad and Tobago and visited for a very important meeting. But this time it is for Jamaica, and this really does have significance. When Barack Obama won the election in 2008, so many people thought that it could never have happened. They were looking at Leader of the Opposition, Andrew Holness. The gentleman to the left of the frame is the U.S. Ambassador to Jamaica, Ambassador Luis Moreno, and the Prime Minister is there as well. So most persons are in place. Dr. Carl Williams is here for the arrival of the 44th President of the United States of America. I'll just return to my comments on 2008 and that very important election, and the mantra that he used to stir up the passion and the energy of the young people in particular: yes, we can. And that's a wider shot of what's happening here at the Norman Manley International Airport. It was through that passion and that yes, we can, that so many people bought into, including non-Americans. Way here in Jamaica, we found that very energizing, and we bought into the message, a very important message it was at the time, and still is a very important message. But Barack Obama's life did not just start when he made himself candidate for the presidential seats in the United States of America. He worked tirelessly in the trenches in Chicago, where he worked with church groups and as a social worker, and to help those persons who are disenfranchised in that part of the world, to bring their plight to the attention of the authorities. And from there, he moved on, building a solid foundation for where he is at now in his life. It's also interesting to note that for a young man who did not really have a great relationship or a relationship with his father, he traveled to Kenya and spent time with his grandmother and other members of the family, and there he became grounded. There we have our Governor General, Sir Patrick Allen, now moving into place. He will be the first person who will be presented to the 44th President of the United States of America, and that, of course, we will see momentarily. What will happen at that time is that the Chief of State Protocol, Ambassador Eleanor Felix, you just saw a shot of her there, will meet the President as he descends the steps, and then we'll start the introductions of the receiving line. Immediately after that, the President will board marine one, and that will take him into Upar Camp, and then from there, the rest of his visit here in Jamaica will flow. Unfortunately, so many people who think that he will be driving along from the airport into Kingston will not get a chance to see him. On our way here, there were so many people lining the road, particularly in the Harborview area, and I know they were expecting to see somebody that they feel very proud of and somebody that they really would like to get a glimpse of. Unfortunately, that will not be the case. So Elaine and Yvette, I'm going to hand things back to you for the time being. Then when we return, we can do some more in terms of what's happening here on the town. You know, it is interesting. In 1966, when Emperor Haile Selassie came, there was such a furore here, as I mentioned earlier on, with the Rastafarians, about 100,000 strong of them, that when he came out of that aircraft, just as he emerged from the door and he saw what was happening, he actually went back into the cabin and remained there for a number of minutes before he came back out. It was just out of this world what he was. And here he is, the 44th President of the United States of America, about now to make his way down these steps to touch down on Jamaican soil for the first time. We hope it won't be the last. And now we see Ambassador Luis Moreno, the United States ambassador here in Jamaica, introducing our head of Chief of State Protocol, Ambassador Eleanor Felix, having a word with the President, and now she takes him over to the receiving line, the Governor General, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, and they are talking, seem to be roughly about the same height, these two men, of course being our head of state. The Governor General first meets, and a hug for the Prime Minister, because they have in fact met before. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Portia Simpson Miller, has just greeted and is having a word with Barack Obama. Look at that broad smile, and he touches her. They're both very tactile people. They touch quite a bit, and this would work very well. And here we are now seeing the Prime Minister introducing the Chairman of CARICOM, the Right Honorable Perry G. Christie, that he had come over. And now the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Andrew Holness, is being presented to the President. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator the Honorable A.J. Nicholson, having a word there and being the nice broad smile from the President. And now the President of the Senate, Senator the Honorable Floyd Morris, along with his wife, Mrs. Morris is there. This is the receiving line here at the airport. The President has just landed. And we see a number of other persons. The Vassiani, Stephen Vassiani, Jamaica's ambassador to the USA, Ambassador Stephen Vassiani now. I'm quite certain he has met the Major General, Anthony Anderson, Chief of Defense Staff there, and they've just cut away before he was introduced to the Commissioner of Police, Dr. Carl Williams. You can see Dr. Carl Williams there in the uniform. I wonder what he's saying to him. Hey, what a tough job you have here in Jamaica, or admire the work that you're doing. And there again, I tell you, he does touch. He touched Dr. Carl Williams on the right arm. Lots of conversation going on here. As if they're long-lost friends, Ambassador Eleanor Felix and the President, and now he'll be escorted to Marine One. He's waving to the members of the press corps. Very relaxed, just as he normally is. And Marine One will take him to the headquarters of the Jamaica Defense Force. A really pleasant evening here at the Norman Manley International Airport. The Sea King aircraft. These Sea King aircraft have been utilized for this purpose for a number of years. The VH-3D Sea King helicopters, called Marine One whenever they are carrying the President, but when they're not carrying the President, they're just the Sea King helicopters. They are VH-3D. And at this time, when it takes off, you might hear quite a bit more noise here because of the backwash. Safely inside. And so we can now say that the visit to Jamaica has started. You can hear the backwash at this time, which is a noise from the helicopter. And those are the rotor blades. This for me is a very special moment. And as it is for so many Jamaicans. And as soon as this craft lifts off, then I'm going to be handing back to my colleagues, Elaine Wint-Leslie and Yvette Rowe in studio. But we'll just want to ensure that everything goes well at this point before I hand over. So from here to the Up Park camp, and then the beast will come into play. That is the president's car. It really isn't a Cadillac. It has so much input from different technologies. That door on the beast is 8 inches thick. You'll see more of that tomorrow. It's very difficult to be opened from the inside. And it uses the beast, that is a car. It gets 3.7 miles to the gallon. And that car uses only diesel. More on that tomorrow when we have a better look, or have a look at it. The VH-3DC King, Marine One, will take the president to the headquarters of the JDF. In addition to that aircraft, there is a second aircraft. So it is, what you're hearing is a combined backwash of 2 helicopters going to the Up Park camp, the headquarters of the Jamaica Defense Force. Both aircraft choreographed for departure. still here at the tarmac at the Norman Manley International Airport, just waiting for the lift. And as soon as that happens, I'll be handing back to my colleagues in studio. This is Faye Ellington, the member of the team at the Norman Manley International Airport. This airport was renamed the Norman Manley International Airport on December 7, 1972, after our national hero, Norman Washington Manley. Before that, it was the Palisades Airport. And for just to run down very quickly again what the activities will be tomorrow. The bilaterals, when matters of trade, the economy will be discussed among other matters with the Prime Minister and others at the office of the Prime Minister in the morning. And it's up. Then after that, at the regional headquarters of the University of the West Indies for a meeting of CARICOM heads. Then the students of the University of the West Indies and others should be extremely delighted to hear that they will get a chance to meet with. The university has also provided areas on the campus, 3 areas where persons can sit to watch what is happening in the assembly hall. So if you wish, you can be there. After the town hall meeting at the University of the West Indies, then it's down to Heroes Park at the Cenotaph for the wreath laying. So from the Norman Manley International Airport with the entire crew here, let me hand you back now to Elaine Winch and Yvette Rowe.